Welcome to You've Only Come to Hear United. It's been a bit of a roller coaster over the last several weeks. We looked like we were down and out. I was hoping for the Liverpool game to get called off. To be honest, myself, just to let us regroup and maybe avoid a battering there and then, and be able to put in a bit of a better performance a few weeks down the line when we were a bit more settled. And lo and behold, we came out against Liverpool and put in a really strong performance. And then yesterday against Arsenal, we were absolutely fantastic. Performance wise, performance was good, but it was more the spirit that we showed. It felt like a lot of forces were conspiring against us. Definitely felt like we were playing 12, 12 men up until, I guess, probably after the penalty save, and then things seemed to calm down a bit on the refereeing front. But up until then, it was a horrible, horrible officiating performance. It really was. I don't know how we came out the other end of that. Um, but in the long run, it's really going to help the team spirit, that us against them mentality, to pulled off the two results that we have in the last couple of games after such poor performances with the Marcus Rashford saga. We've obviously, it looks like Casemiro's going to move on too. There's been a lot of noise around the club, and a lot of ill feeling, and those two performances have really made a difference. And we've got a great game next on Thursday against Southampton to really help us try and take advantage of this. On the transfer front, at the moment, it's looking interesting. I'm hoping we can move Rashford on now, if anything, just because how do you come back into the team after so publicly declaring you want a new challenge? Essentially, you want to be somewhere else. I don't know how you come back in, and I don't know really where he fits into this team. I think that was a concern as soon as Amorim brought in this system. And looking at the togetherness and what they have now, I don't think Amorim's going to want to rock the boat, and I don't think he probably wants to reintroduce Rashford at this point. It'd be better for everyone if he can move on, but that's easier said than done because of the funds involved in that transfer. So we'll have to see what the next few weeks brings. But if he is going to move, I'm hoping it can be done sooner rather than later to give us the room to bring in a replacement, even if it's a case of just saving half of his wages. Maybe we can use that half of wages on somebody coming in on loan until the end of the season. And the rumours of Napoli with I'm going to just say Kvara looking like he's on his way to Paris Saint-Germain, and they're going to look for someone to replace him. Obviously, initially there were talks of Rashford being the man, but then it more recently came out that Alejandro Garnacho was somebody they're looking at. Thought it was quite telling after those rumours that he played against Arsenal, although Amorim largely put that down to Amad Diallo having a bit of a knock in the week. So we'll see. I thought it was very interesting timing that Alejandro Garnacho made the first 11 yesterday. And then obviously, as we've just touched on already, Casemiro, I think he really does need to move on now. For Toby Collier to come on before him, such a big game against Arsenal yesterday, really said where he is in the pecking order and how Amorim feels about him. For me, he needs to go. I think if you're going to play Casemiro now, I think he's still got something to offer. He needs to play at the base of a midfield with runners either side. I think he can protect the back four, but if you put him in any form of a two, yeah, it's a bit better when you've got three at the back. But I don't want him to necessarily have to be the legs in there. And I think in Amorim's system, you need legs. I think Casemiro, yeah, as I just said, has to be in a midfield three at the base with support either side of him, and you still see a very good, protector, if you like. Although I say that, and he's probably been better for us in the last couple of years as an attacking threat and someone who can get on the end of things in the box. So, yeah, we'll have to see what the future brings there. It'd be nice if we could move Anthony on, but I just don't see it. I think you're going to have to take a massive hit. And we've already seen him apparently dismiss interest from Greece. I think that's kind of signalling. I can't see him going anywhere outside of the top 5 leagues, just himself in this window. I think he'd wait until the summer. If nothing happens now, then he's going to have to reassess his options. But I think he'll still want to try and play himself into Ruben Amorim's good books for now. But I just don't see him getting many minutes between now and the end of the season. But yet at the same time, I'm not sure who from within the top 5 leagues is going to come in for him. Maybe it's going to end up being like a deadline day move to a Betis or something like that, perhaps in Spain. But we'll have to see what comes of that too. Incomings, I'm not. We need an attacking option. I thought that as soon as we let Sancho go in the summer, regardless of what happens with Marcus Rashford now, I feel we are short up there, especially in someone who can play as a striker. Profile of play we're looking for has changed now because Amorim's system's different. Ideally, someone who could probably play up top and in the 10, especially when you look at the fitness of someone like Mason Mount, who should be an option up there, and he's not at the moment. So we're definitely stuck in that respect. I'd like to see us bring in some more competition for that left wing back role, because outside of Tyrell Malacia, who, to be fair to him, he's doing all right having been out for so long, but I don't expect him to be our first choice option there. And even though Dalot played really well against Liverpool, I thought he reverted to type again against Arsenal, and he wasn't looking to really penetrate down that left-hand side. He kept cutting back. He made such good progress against Liverpool. I thought he got a lot of confidence against really below par Trent Alexander-Arnold, and I just don't see him as the option. We need someone really on both flanks to really sort of be able to take a man on and go to the byline as and when needs be, not necessarily all the time, but neither Mazraoui or Dalot on either flank did that too well. I think if you play Dalot on the right, he will do that more. Obviously it suits him being on that foot and he's not looking to cut back as much. But when Shawry's fit, we don't know how long he'll stay fit for, and maybe as he's got more years on the clock, maybe he's going to be more of a left centre back option for us. We don't know if he's necessarily going to be a wing back option under Amorim and how effective he can be there. So for me, even if it's just a loan, I like to see another body come in to give us more balance on the left and give us more options that we can play with a natural left footer there if Amorim wants to do that. I'd even take Reguilón back on loan, to be honest, at this point. Alvaro Fernandez, because we have the buyback clause with Benfica, should be an option, but it's been pretty quiet on that front, to be honest, this window. I thought we might hear a little bit more about that. It'd be quite a cheap deal to do. Maybe they don't fancy him still that much. I really thought Harry Amasa get more opportunities by sort of Christmas, and that hasn't transpired either. So it looks like he's probably going on loan. So yeah, that's another area where we're weak. In an ideal world, like another centre midfielder, but I think that's going to wait till the summer. If he's willing to give some of the youngsters a go. I'm glad Collie is sort of back in the picture now, and he looked he gave a really good account of himself against Arsenal, and maybe he can do a job. If you consider Ugarte and Mainu as our first choice centre midfielders, and then if you say Fernandes can drop back as and when needs be, and Collier in as a fourth, if you can kind of for now go, we've got 4 people for that position. But if you're then looking at Fernandes as one of those rotating options, you are really looking even more thinner in attack. If he gets injured, then you're losing someone for 2 positions essentially. So yeah, I think in an ideal world, it would be a striker / attacking centre midfielder for me. Someone who can play both. If we had to choose one or the other, it'd be an attacking centre midfielder for now, a left wing back, and then a centre midfielder as well. I think the other areas of the pitch we're reasonably well covered in. And then I think just before we wrap it up for today, just a shout out again to standout men from yesterday's performance: Harry Maguire, Matthijs de Ligt, and Altay Bayindir. Second half onwards, he looked a bit shaky at the start, one or two moments, and then he just grew and grew into the game. The penalty save, decent save after that, and then again another save in the shootout too. You could see the confidence growing in him, and it's nice to know there that we potentially got someone who, if anything happens to Onana, he's managed to get some minutes under his belt, which he really struggled to do under Erik ten Hag. And even though his kicking's a little bit off too, I think he's an able deputy. So yeah, happy for him to start in the cup competitions, and fingers crossed for at least another cup win this season in what has been quite a dismal league season so far.